So here's the thing. I cannot figure out how to make people money overnight in any sort of way, right? Like, that's not what I would ever teach in any particular classroom. I think a lot of people would not teach that at most business schools. That's not what that's really not the idea behind most business school and most sort of things that we understand in terms of what provides value. You don't make money overnight. That's gambling. And then you'd probably be better off learning about probability in that circumstance to sort of guess what is the best probability of something going up. But all of that sort of technical charting and all of that kind of stuff that you might see, people talking about day trading and all that kind of stuff, for the most part, I don't know too many people that actually believe in that. And I'm around a lot of smart people all the time, and I would imagine that there are people that really buy into that, but I haven't bumped into too many in my lifetime that is doing the legitimate thing. So what do we actually teach, and what do we do? We talk about just the long, slow grind over and over and over again. That's a big thing that I teach about, and the big thing that I sort of focus on is that it just takes a long time. So I can't get you to become wealthy overnight. That's kind of nonsensey kind of stuff. But I can get you to probably be a little bit more wealthier than what you are right now in 10 years. Or, probably substantially wealthier, by magnitudes more in, 30 years, if you sort of just follow some basic principles of, taking your time and dedicating towards a particular craft and really working at that particular craft. And then, figuring out how to improve upon that particular craft such that you're going to provide some sort of value. And, the mistaken thing, and I think this is where, some strategy gets wrong, and that's very popular, is that you don't necessarily have to be in a space that is that sort of has high, possibility for profitability in a particular space. There's tons of areas that are highly competitive, and people still end up doing extremely well. And the thing is that people sort of forget about that. The long-term building capabilities, sort of learning over time, developing knowledge and skill sets, which is actually really hard to do, and it requires just a tremendous amount of dedication and just focus on something and specialization on something. So even though that you're in a very competitive marketplace, maybe you're selling, I don't know, you're a gold seller, right? Like super crazy competitive. If you dedicate your entire life to the craft of understanding that, eventually you'll end up getting pretty darn good, and understand all of the nuances behind it, and actually find something that you're going to be good at and possibly provide high value in that particular area. Now the problem is that some of those spaces like that, they tend to be filled with kind of overnight money scammy kind of people, right? And looking for a quick buck. But if you're not that kind of person, you're sort of building a competence in a particular area, right? So you go and get a good, maybe you go and get a geoengineering degree, right? Geological engineering degree. And then you build on top of that, understanding of business and all these kind of things. You're going to have a nice life. You're going to do really well from that. But if you're going into it trying to get the quick win books and all of that kind of stuff and how to make money quickly with gold, man, it ain't going to work out for you generally. And it's a different mindset. It's really, it's thinking about craftsmanship and really working at something versus doing it to make a quick buck. And there's qualitatively different differences, really different in terms of what you're doing. One of them, you could sort of imagine that you're like you're a crafts person, right? Like you're actually doing some artisanal things. You're really getting into it. You're understanding the nuances of things. And then the other one is like superficially understanding what's going on and then trying to outsmart what everybody else is doing that has this rich understanding. So what I'm getting at is build that competency, really think about like, how am I actually building this? What is it that I'm going to do that provides value beyond everybody else? Do the long, hard, grinding work to actually get there and repeatedly do that over and over and over again. Like, there's honestly, you might become a chef, for example. You might think that that's super competitive. It is, right? But chefs that are world class are doing okay. They put in a tremendous amount of effort and a tremendous amount of gumption of refining the skill and becoming good at it, that they're in high demand. And that's really what you're thinking about, is changing your mindset instead of going after the quick win and all that kind of nonsense, which generally doesn't work out for you. Really turn it around and say, hey, wait a minute, I am going to study this like nobody's business. And when you do that, good things happen. Just that dedication, refining, specialization, really just going at it over and over and over again. Something about that. And doing that consistently does really well. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.